the homies in Dead Days, which are my guys. I love Adam. Hung out with Adam multiple times. My man Don,
Yes,
all the
Don.
boys.
Don was he actually impressed me the most. His vocals are amazing,
Yeah, they're
powerful, and
nuts.
emotional live. And I went up to him like right before I went on, and I was like, "How am I supposed to perform after that?" And he's like, "Oh, like I mean, like you'll be fine." I was like, "I'm like, no, I just wanted to tell you, like I should be warming up right now, but I'm like, I just want to tell you, like you're amazing and very inspiring." And I was stoked to have him perform right before us because like that
Crushed
just
it.
got me hyped up.
I
Like got me
got you.
so hyped.
You're like,
Yeah.
let's go.
Yeah, I was just like, "Damn!" Like now I gotta bring my game, my A
I'm
game in.
sure you did. I saw some clips. I watched this story. I was like, okay. I was like, Josh is fronting it now. I was like, this is sick. I'm about it. I'm about it. So
Yeah, yeah, that is something that is new for the band, new for myself actually to navigate, just being a vocalist. But yeah, like I am the new frontman and singer, screamer for Auras now.
oh,
So,
okay.
um, you know, like switching from guitar to that, what it is like, it is challenging, but at the same time, like I wrote the lyrics, I wrote all the vocal patterns for the past 12 to 15 years now.
Whew.
And it was just like it wasn't learning, it was just like, okay, I just got to change my instrument, which was like this right here,
The voice, yeah.
mainly the voice, and trying to just kind of find your voice on stage too, like if you're trying to be, if you're new to the vocalist, the frontman game. Like I've been a vocalist
Sure.
for a long time, but the frontman thing is a different thing to figure out. You know, everybody has their different approaches to being a frontman. Everyone has their own kind of banter. So these past three shows, I was just trying to figure out which one fits for me and what I represents me and my brand
Your
of
style.
vocals.
Yeah.
Yeah, my style. Exactly, exactly.
I got you. How's it going, guys? Welcome to Audio Addiction. We have Auras with us tonight. Can say his name and what he does in the band.
My name's Josh, and I am the singer and songwriter for Aura's progressive metal.
Yeah, let's go. I love this. As I mentioned in my reaction video, if you want to go check that out, I'll leave it down below. Slight plug to me. But I have been very stoked. Honestly, I've been trying to get auras on for like a hell of a long time, and then it just didn't happen. So, as fate would have it, big shout outs to Virtual Veins. Josh had checked that out and was like, yo, this guy, he's mid, but he's doing content, so I have to hit him.
Nah,
No.
man, you do the content right, man,
Oh,
and
thank you, thank you.
it's one of those things where um I just enjoy watching people's reactions. I don't know why, and it could be like reactions of like funny scenes in movies or anything like that. But like
Sure, yeah.
just catching someone's reaction to some sort of entertainment is entertaining to me.
You would like want to be
So
there to like experience it. I got you.
well, because I think being an artist and like being on the one side of trying to create art to entertain people, like you never really get to experience the other side as
Sure,
much as you
yeah, yeah.
you think you do. Like I don't know what it's like to hear my voice on the other side of like the screen or the speakers. And like to be honest, sometimes I like listen to my voice and I'm like, man, I sound like that. Like even just like speaking, just having like a conversation,
At least you're honest
like a
about
lot
it. Yeah.
for real though. Like but yeah, it's when you kind of position yourself with someone reacting to something, it almost connects you with the moment in real time when they're
Sure, yeah.
like they're taking in something. So uh I appreciate what you do.
Oh,
It's very entertaining, and
thank
I
you.
think it's really good for the community as well. Like um not a lot of people really understand this genre. So when you see someone react to it, they're like, okay, well, obviously there's something that's enticing or exciting about what's
Sure,
happening right
yeah.
now. And some people might go forward and try to figure that out. And so I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. Well, listen, guys, I didn't ask Josh to say any of those nice things about me. So before you comment and said, "Wow, how much did you pay Josh to say that?" I didn't pay him anything. So that's the best sell you can Josh could give me, you know. But I honestly have been a fan of auras for a while. If you, I maybe will leave a link to my show thoughts, which I was way younger and way less knowledgeable than I am now, arguably. Uh, but I remember seeing them at Rest in Peace Game Changers World in New Jersey, and they sounded great at the show. Though I will say that again, if you know Game Changers World and you know that place, it was not the best sound wise. So I didn't want to like count my chickens before they hatch. I'm sure eventually at some point they'll be coming back to the States again, even though they're over like in Canada. So it's not too far of a trek. Um, but I was like, I got to keep following this band. I got to see what's going on. So then I checked out Binary Garden and I'm like, bro, what is this band doing? They're so sick. How does people not know about this band? And I like shared them around a ton, like even like during the channel. I was just like, yo, if you aren't checking out Auras, man, whew, you sleeping. You're taking a nice nap, snoozing, and then I was like, Josh hit me up and he was like, hey, would you want to do a video for Somnia? And I was like, bro, please let me do it. I'd love to. So I checked it out and I think it's the best. I know everybody says it, it's the trope of musicians. This is our best song. But I can genuinely say, as being a third party, I can say this is what I would say this is amongst the top Aura songs that I've heard. Um, Up there with I loved Another Place and Essence is like my other two favorites. And I think it's like I think
Essence,
it's pretty
eh?
good.
That's
I
interesting.
think it's pretty up there. I Essence is great because I feel like it allowed you to just go off on the clean vocals. I was like, damn, my man Josh is ooh. Oh baby, I was like, he's going off. I was like, I love that. So that to me, that one's the one that speaks to me the most, along with Another Place, because I feel like that's like that perfect mix of like aggressive, but also some great cleans and just like you want to talk about riffs, man. That whole album has riffs for days. So I absolutely love it. So go check out Binary Gardens. I'll leave that down below. Go give it some love because I feel like that is a very underrated progressive metalcore album, and if you aren't listening to it, bro, you taking a you're sleeping. So wake up. This is your wake up call. So I just want to let you know if Auras blows up, I just want to let you know I was the first to tell you that. So just coming out there,
I
coming out
love
the gate
that. Thank
strong.
you so much. Thank you, man. Like I'm very proud of Binary Garden. There was a lot of things that I learned um, being an artist in for that album, like writing the clean vocals and really diving in and experimenting. Really, like
Sure.
I love clean singing. Like I grew up listening to R&B, and Michael Jackson was like a huge inspiration when I was a kid. Um, and yeah, I just love the soul of that kind of vocal kind of
Sure.
art, and
Yeah.
that was Binary Garden was the perfect time to bring it in because the previous uh, albums we kind of sprinkled it a little bit, but Binary was the time to express myself the way I wanted to express. So
Unleash the beast. So
unleash, yes.
it was great. So again, can't give enough love to that album. Go give it some love. But Josh, I did want to ask you, since you would probably know this the best, certainly. I want to know how Aura started out. Like, what's kind of like the earlier days of this? I'm a nerd, so I
Oh,
love to know about like the nitty gritty about bands. So like, I know Auras has been around, as you mentioned, like anywhere between like 12 to 15 years, I'd argue. So, what was kind of like the earlier years, or I guess when wind up, because you're an OG member, I'm pretty sure. Am I correct on that?
I am the only original member.
What?
Yeah,
Oh man. Okay, so then you are
yeah.
the best person to ask this question to then.
Really, I mean, if you were to go back, there's different ways to look at it, but there are different versions of auras. and we've went through phases and adapting and changing. Like
Sure.
we did start, it must be 15 years ago, but it really started when I met Aaron Hallman, who is the current guitar player now, and when he connected me with Nathan Bulla, the drummer.
Oh,
So
okay.
as soon as the three of us were together and we were writing and making music together, that's, I would say, the beginning of Auras there. But long story short, I was just like writing music in my room by myself, and I posted a clip using
Oh,
Fruity Loops
nice.
drums,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
just like I like recorded guitar with a Rock Band mic going into like one of those little combo amps.
Oh, that's
Like,
so sick.
and I like made this song and I posted it on MySpace,
Oh, hell yeah. Let's go.
and then basically got all these local musicians reaching out to me like, hey, let's start a band. So I was like, cool. So got together with a bunch of dudes and started writing music, and then kind of just cycled through members. And really, it, like I said, it started with Aaron. I met him outside of a bar. So
Nice.
if you are from like Ontario and you've gone to like college, like of this bar called Phil's in Waterloo. And I was with my boy at the time, Eob. Shout out to Eob. We call him
Shout
the Keob
outs.
because he's like the reason why I met Aaron, which is what I'm leading up to here. And we're just like walking down the street, and we're walking by Phil's, and we didn't even go to Phil's. We were just walking by to get like food at like a 7-Eleven. And he goes, Hallman. And I was like, Hallman. And he like walks over. He's like, yeah, I went to high school with this guy. This is Aaron Josh. And like, he's wearing a Periphery shirt, and I'm wearing a Protest shirt.
Oh,
And like, you don't really see that
sure. Yeah.
like out in like this collegey town that we're
In the
in. So I was
wild.
like,
Yeah.
in the wild, we're like, yo, you like Periphery? Like, boom, boom, boom. And yeah, I had met him, and then we at I think it was like a month later, we may have like lost a guitarist, like he had left. And I was like, man, I need to find a guitarist. And I was like, why don't I hit up this Aaron guy? Like, I go to his Facebook, he's got this red Ibanez, and I'm like, he looks like,
He looks like he shreds.
like if he listens to like Periphery and stuff, like maybe he'd be interested to jam. He seemed like a really nice guy. So I sent him a Facebook message, and then I went on vacation. I went on a cruise. So I didn't have internet for about a week. So as I go on the vacation, I completely forgot that I messaged him. And then I come back,
Oh.
and I'm like, well, I got internet again. Like, sweet. And I'm like going through my messages, like, oh, Aaron responded. He's like, hey, man, I would love to. He's like, sure. Like, let's see what's up. Then he came out to a jam. We like talked for a bit, and he's like, yeah, I'm down. Like, let's like start doing some music. And then that was like our core group for a bit. It was me, Aaron, and like the rest of the gang that I've kind of been jamming with for years.
Hmm.
And it got to a point where we were losing our drummer. So we were like, man, like we need to figure out how to, like, how are we going
Yeah.
to
Whew.
find another drummer to do? Because at this point, we're writing music like, I think at the time it was like Contortionist meets like
Ooh.
Periphery. So
Okay.
it does require, and Tesseract, it does require like that groove knowledge that
Yeah.
Aaron and I really aligned with. And so we're just like asking people, like, checking forums and whatever. And he's like, you know what? I have this dude that like is like a family friend of mine. At the time, Aaron was working for his dad.
Ah, okay.
But they've been like like they've known each other for a very long time. And he was like, his name's Nathan. Like he played in like a pop punk band. I was like, pop punk. I was like, oh,
You're like, oh no.
I was like, that's not what I had in mind. But he said, oh, he was in this band called Chasing Amy, and they were actually on this show, like a Canadian music TV show called Disband. And they went on there to, it was like a competition,
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like do you know the band Abandon All Ships?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, so like they were on that show. So like there
What?
was, and they got big off of that show. Anyways, he was like, "Oh, he was on this band, like blah blah blah." I was like, "Okay, well, let's go. Let's see what he's got." Right. So we're like, "Well, how do we find out?" Well, so we go to his Facebook page, and this has been Facebook was very basic, and it
Yeah.
it was just like here's like you're about me, and then like where are you from? Are you single? Like yada yada yada, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And in his about me, he just had a YouTube link. Like it didn't say anything else, it just had a YouTube link. And we're like, let's go see what this is. We click on it, and you can still find this video. It's like titled like Matt Halpern inspired groove. So for those listening, Matt Halpern is the drummer of Periphery. And we were like, we need to find a drummer that can play Periphery. And
Yeah.
it literally said this. And I remember Aaron and I were like sitting beside each other. We like slowly turned to each other and we're like,
This is
there's no
it.
way. There's no way. We're like, well, he could say that it's inspired. Doesn't mean he's good. So then
Sorry,
we
yeah.
press play. And my God, I could still remember the grooves like boom, boom, ba ba boom, 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 ba ba boom, boom. And I'm just looking at his like ghost notes and I was like,
This is it.
this is the guy.
We found him.
We found him.
Yeah.
And he was like, I guess it's so long ago. So I guess Aaron hit him up and then we jammed. And honestly, it, instant connection. Like
That's
all three
awesome.
of us were
Yeah.
jamming with no, like, we didn't know where it was going to go, but eventually it was like, boys, this is it. You know,
We've done
like
it.
this is it.
Yeah.
We've done it. So like and that's the story of like the core three. And of course, like Eric, I actually went to high school with him, and I used to be in a band with him back in the day.
Whew.
And when we lost our vocalist, so yeah, sorry, I'm like going through like different, like he wasn't even the original vocalist. Like we had
Oh,
another vocalist at the
wow.
time, and
Okay.
when he left, we're like, well, we need someone to cover. And like Eric was obviously the dude because we actually got his guest vocals on the first version of Cascade. I was just like, oh, he's a homie, he should do guest vocals, right? But yeah, he took on that role, and then we were us four, and then we
So,
just
ooh,
rolled. We
yeah.
just rolled with it. So um, there's so many other like nitty gritty details, so I'm not gonna go into it, but yeah. So that's like kind of how it started, and then obviously we've been in a band for like 10 years as like that core group, and then obviously with more recent, we have made some changes. So yeah, hopefully that answered your question.
No, yeah, I love it. I mean, honestly, I mean, if you wanted to go to the nitty gritty, I'm totally down to do that. But I feel like for me, I came at it like a very interesting impasse of where you guys were at because I was like, yeah, they're touring with like Era, they're touring with Phineas. I'm like, they're doing some. I mean, at the time, I mean, Era was like starting to like rise. Phineas, I feel like, was also starting to rise, and then like Auras, I was like, that name sounds familiar, and then I just kept on like listening over the years just because I always try to keep in contact with bands I've seen like live or whatever. And I know that you're homies with a lot of other Canadian bands I've had on here, like the Northern, Dead Days, the Parallels slash Virtual Veins. Like I've had on a ton of Canadian bands now at this point, doing this for 7.5 years now. So, for me, it's like, it's cool to see you guys kind of like again change the formula yet again because that's kind of how I felt with like Binary Garden where I was like cool, they're like doing things that I don't feel like other bands are doing currently, and then you guys kind of like went away for a little bit, and like you were doing some shows, but like, and then obviously the pandemic happened and everybody shuttered in. But I was like, what are they gonna be doing next? Like every time I would like go and listen to Binary Garden, I'm like, I wonder what Aura is doing, right? Like, so I'll go check your page, and nothing really changed. So I'm like, don't tell me they disbanded. I would be really upset if they closed it out. And then like I said, just as fate would have it, Josh DM'd me and was like, hey, we have some new stuff, and I was like, you do have some new stuff. Okay, I'm about it. And Somnia came to be, and like how long of a process was that? Because I imagine you guys have probably been sitting on that for, I would guess, a little bit, if I had to argue, or is that pretty new?
Um, So I would say like during the pandemic, like I
Mhm.
was not actively writing.
Oh,
Like
okay.
um I've been writing, like I said, for however long, like 15 years, and um the pandemic was like interesting because I, when I would write, I'm like, what am I writing for? Like, I don't know when I'm gonna come, like when we're gonna come out of this. Like, am
Sure,
I gonna
yeah.
write a song at the beginning of the pandemic and then like sit on it for 3 years plus some, right? Like, I just didn't have the motivation to do it again because I just didn't know where it was gonna all go.
Sure, I would agree with that, yeah.
So I ended up just kind of like taking a break from it and like learning other things, like working on my singing and exploring hip hop and writing beats. Like I did a lot of hip hop beats like
Ooh,
over the pandemic.
okay.
Yeah, like just trying to exercise my writing in other aspects of music. So I kind of just took a break, right? My
Mhm.
own, I would say, yeah, like as a songwriter, I went on a little writer's block hiatus. Wrote some things here and there, and I'd send it over, but it was like, oh, that's cool, but it's like, well,
What are
we're
we gonna do with it?
what no,
Yeah.
what next? What's next, right?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think when things started to open up again, and I was seeing bands start to tour and like safely tour and coming home and being like, yeah, it was great, like it all worked out. That's when I started getting motivated a little bit. But also just like I struggled with what does auras need to release next, and I kept asking
Sure,
myself
yeah,
that,
yeah.
like what do the people want? And I think that kind of contributed to my hiatus of like the songwriting as well, that it got to the point where I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna go back to what I used to do and just write music for music. I'm just gonna write it, and like if it doesn't get used for auras, it doesn't. If it does, cool. Like just
Sure, yeah, yeah,
exploring that territory and just trying to see where it takes me. I wrote a bunch of songs,
yeah.
and uh, Insomnia was one of them, and it wasn't the first one, it wasn't the last one, it was like one of the middle ones that I had done,
Nice, okay.
and that song seemed to have really resonated with the rest of the band, and yeah, we just decided to roll with that one and really hone in on that process.
Yeah.
And yeah, here we are.
I think it's, like I said, I said it very much in the reaction, but, like, there's something I think, and this isn't to like just give you like the highest of praise, but I do feel like there is something about auras every time that I listen to you guys and what you write. It's just that I feel like you're not going into it being like, okay, what is the hottest metalcore song out right now? We have to write something in the same vein as that. And I think that that's kind of the genius of it is that like you guys just are like, well, fuck, we're just gonna write what we want to write, and if it turns out to be like more auras esque, then we're gonna release it most likely, and then if not, then you know maybe it might be scrapped and used for parts for another song or what have you, but I really kind of appreciated some of the elements that were within Binary Garden, which was like these really cool kind of like lush tones or like a lot of the kind of like ambience within the song that I was like, I really wonder if they would like kind of tune that a little bit more or they would like make some of the more electronic parts sing a little bit more, ironically enough. And Somnia, I feel like really tapped into that where I was like, man, this synth at the beginning is like very like North Lane, like Blade Runner, like 2049, like that type of shit where I was just like, yeah, this is good. I like this. And then once the guitar riff came in, I was like, bro, come on. Like, why are you doing this to me? This is so sick. And I think for me, that was kind of like the initial, and I'm sure people can see it in the video, is like that was the initial point where I was like, it clicked. Like everything, the gears were turning, and then it finally just like succinct and everything kind of like started turning in one fluid motion. And I was like, okay, they're back. Like they're something they did in this song, the sauce, like some secret sauce they had going on here. They got it. Like there's something untapped potential right there. So I feel like Josh did not pay me to say this, by the way. I am saying this of my own volition as well, but I genuinely was like, wow, this is insane, and I feel like other people should know about it. So then I ultimately made the video because I couldn't let other people not know about this song because I feel like I would be doing a disservice to the community if I didn't like blast this out everywhere because I was like this is some this is like some peak like prog metalcore that I feel like other people should at least listen to, have a come to a conclusion and be like, you can't tell me this is mid, man. Like, it's definitely not.
I appreciate all those kind of words, man, because we're getting we have been getting mixed reviews.
Really? Huh.
A lot of positive, a lot like definitely a lot of positive, but there are some core fans who are really into like the earlier stuff that seem
Sure.
to like not feel it, and they're respectfully saying they're like, I love auras, but this just doesn't do it for me. And like I respect it. Like honestly, like I respect your opinion, and hopefully you guys listen to the next song and maybe change your mind, because Somnia was I'm gonna just say there's a reason why I picked this song first. I'm not, there is some strategy behind it. Um so for those who are still wanting to listen, even though this song didn't do it for you, like just listen for the next few releases, and
Okay.
just think about it. But like I said, I respect everybody's opinion, and people's musical taste change,
Oh, yeah.
including an artist like myself. um and I think you can really hear that in Somnia. Like I think so one thing that a lot of people don't realize is that I'm actually a huge house fan.
Oh, okay.
I like droney house. Like
Yeah.
if I'm like working on the computer doing work, like droney tech house just
Oh,
really
okay.
hits
Okay.
me hard.
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite artists right now is Anima, I think is how you call it. It's
Okay.
Anyma. And just his synths are just so like they're they're driving but gorgeous and luscious at the same time.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I was really inspired by that in the song Somnia. Like the synths in Somnia, we have not done anything like that in any past
I would
albums.
agree.
Like we really
Yeah.
spent a lot of time in the sound design of it all. And because that's just the vibe that I'm just into right now, you know what I mean? Like and
Respect.
I think it translated well, and I don't think anybody's really doing it except for, North Lane has always been like
I was
leading
gonna
towards
say,
that.
oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And like we have very similar styles, and I love it because I love North Lane, and I love the growth of North Lane as
Oh,
well, because
yeah.
like they've had
Same.
different versions of them and of themselves. But um yeah, the synth work is something that I think distinguishes our music from other people in this genre um right now. And um we wanted to see how people felt about it.
Sure.
I
Yeah.
wanted to see how people felt about it. And it sounds like people are really enjoying the soundscape of it all. So um yeah, like I appreciate all the kind words, and everybody who's said really nice things about the new song, and that just makes me excited to release more music.
Yeah, no, I love the fact that you guys are trying to break in and include different genres. As someone who is getting more into like K-pop music, as someone who has always loved like lo-fi and stuff, like to me it's cool to see that progression of artists, and that I'm sure you've been in the scene for a long time. I've also been in the scene for a long time, for like people to be like, I would argue, like year over year a little less gatekeepy in terms of mixing genres. Like I think if you put this out like 3 years ago or even before that, people would be like, "What are you doing? What's with this electronic stuff? What are you, North Lane? Get this shit out here." Like, and there's certain bands that like again that fit in that box, and like people love that shit, and that's great. But I think if you ever remotely step outside of that box, people are like, they get offended. Like it's like you've said something mean about like their family member to their face. And I find that just completely odd, just from a musical perspective, and just kind of trying to grow and like you're not gonna know all the shit, man. Like that's what kind of blows my mind is that people are so like nearsighted when it comes to music. And I would, I would highly recommend if you are a heavier listener, like there's so many great artists out there that I would argue probably wouldn't fit your wheelhouse, but at least you're giving it the opportunity to go out and listen to it. Like I think that in and of itself is a big step. And then who knows, you might like find a band you really enjoy and it might not be in a genre that you typically listen to. And then eventually over time you start building that and you're like, "Oh shit, I like this band too. Wow, I'm going deeper into the rabbit hole." And then eventually, you're doing like other content, and I think that that's such a cool thing. So I'm excited for the growth of auras in terms of just like developing the sound. And I think that again, now I'll reiterate the point. I think this is the best song to start off with if you are a new listener. I think this one is a good foothold into the band. But I also got to give my love to Binary Garden, so go give that some love too. I have to ask Josh because I'm such a Binary Garden stan. Is there one song off the album that you wish got more love?
I would say Essence for
Oh,
sure.
okay, my favorite. Okay.
Is one of them. Mainly because I wrote it like for this there was this tragedy that happened in Canada, like the Humboldt Broncos, I believe is what they were like a team that like got in a really bad bus accident,
Ooh,
and I like dedicated this song to them because like these were just kids that were just about to go play sport, and some of their family members didn't get to see them come home. You know what I mean? And Essence is about like not being able to say goodbye when you
sure.
wanted to. So um that's just like it was that's why I really poured my heart out into that song because I really felt the emotions of that one and that got really personal for me. So that one I feel like it does get some love, but I get it though because it's a very different song.
Yeah, it is.
Like
Yeah.
it's like its own thing, and um yeah, like that's one. That's like the main one that comes up to mind. Like I feel like there's like other good songs on there, but that one for sure.
Yeah, I have to agree. It is kind of like a change, like a pace changer because a Demoness I think came before that one, and that's like the complete opposite end of the spectrum where it's like probably one of the heaviest songs off the album. But yeah, I gotta give my, I'm doubling down. I gotta give my love to Essence. That's such a fantastic song.
Thank you.
I do my best Josh impression in the shower when that song comes on when I'm listening to it. So, you know. Can't tell you how good or bad it is. That's up to the decisive nature of my roommates. So if you want to weigh in the comments, let me know.
Oh,
Um,
I feel that, man, for sure, for sure.
I'm sure they won't call me out in the comments. I don't know, but we'll figure it out.
I
The
love that.
next question, Josh, I have for you is what were some of the first artists that you listened to or saw on TV that really inspired you to like pick up guitar and obviously do vocals as well? Just kind of off the bat. I always love hearing this because I think it's different than like the influences that, obviously change the way you make music now.
So, um, it's it comes in phases for me. Like,
Okay.
so the first instrument I picked up was the drums,
Ooh,
and that's what you
okay.
see here is like an
Yes.
electronic drum kit here. So, um, what got me into drums was Travis Barker.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
of course.
yeah, like I for some reason like my older sister had like the live Blink 182 album, and I used to
Ooh,
listen to that like every night before I went to bed. Like I would go to bed like listening
listening
to
to
it,
it.
and because there was something about Travis Barker that was just so interesting. Like the music itself wasn't that technical or anything, but what he was doing, his technique, his dynamics were it brought the songs to life, right? Like
I would agree.
I can't even imagine another drummer on that. So that's what got me into drums. And what got me into guitar was the band Sum 41. because
Oh, yes.
they're Canadian,
Salutes,
and
baby.
but like again, their guitar work wasn't like their choruses weren't crazy, but they had awesome catchy riffs that
Oh,
were
yeah.
out of that genre. Like they were doing like almost like Metallica kind of like guitar work and just really cool fun riffs. And I was like, "Oh, like I just want to like write cool riffs like that." So I would definitely say Sum 41 amongst a bunch of other ones like Bullet for My Valentine, like huge Avenged Sevenfold, Trivium,
Oh,
In
yeah.
Flames, like those were like my guitar. Like I like graduated into like that metal thing from Sum 41. Um, but then now the other phase is like vocals, like what made me want to start singing, and
Yeah.
it was Chester from Linkin Park.
Oh,
Like he is
the
like a
GOAT.
huge inspiration. Um, like there was just like a long period of time that when Linkin Park came out and he was like singing and screaming, like no one else is doing what he's doing, and it was like that for a long time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
And until I got into like the metal side and more progressive metal core, like that's where I started to see it again. Like I started to see that where people are doing screaming and singing like back to
Together.
back
Yeah,
as
together, yeah.
together. And I was like, man, like that brings me back to when like I first listened to Linkin Park and Chester was just like rest in peace, by the way. Like
Yeah, oh, yeah.
he's man, like I love him as a vocalist so much. Like he has no idea how he's changed like my perspective on singing.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say in
overall.
the genre too. I mean, I feel like I hardly have had any person not mention Linkin Park. I feel like that if you can make that type of an impact, I think that obviously makes you an icon. So rest
It's
in peace,
amazing.
the goat, of the scene. Um, but I love that. Like as well as that, I also have to ask as being another, as being another Asian, I feel like we got to give it up to Mike Shinoda, the god too. He's awesome. Big salutes to my man. I have to ask because as being again an Asian American, like how important is that to make like an impact on the community? Because I feel like I've talked with a lot of like Asian Americans. Big salutes to the homies here, but I always find it very interesting, like that it's almost like taboo to like heavier music if you're like Asian. Like it's just like wait, you like metal music? How dare you? Like, it's like it's like a crazy thing. So, do you find that, when you were growing up, maybe like it was a little bit more difficult to be like in love with like heavier music or like metal music, or was that kind of arguably maybe a little bit more celebrated?
It was celebrated in my
Really? Okay.
when I was yeah, like I think um like I'm Filipino and Filipinos like have a great background in music from what I've
Oh
like
yeah.
experienced through my family and like you see some of these artists like Bruno
Oh
Mars and
yeah.
like you know what I mean like there's something to be said about musicianship and Filipinos, and I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the karaoke that we do. I
It
don't know,
is. It's
but
gotta be. Yeah.
I love karaoke, right? But like it never growing up, it just didn't matter to me. Like I just did what I wanted to do. I didn't care like that I was the only Asian person in the room. All I could say is that the metal community was the most welcoming community
I would agree. Yeah.
of me. Yeah, and like if anything, they like had so much more respect because like culturally, like for me to leave and try something different, like
Yeah.
that's hard for some people, right? And you got to give it up to my parents because they were very supportive from day one. Like they
Shout
never
outs.
judged. They were like, "Oh, you want drums? Okay, we're gonna work on getting you some drums. Oh, you want a guitar? Okay, like it wasn't like, oh, like you're not gonna fit in. It was just they were like super supportive,
That's
and
awesome. Yeah.
I had zero struggles. Like I'm proud to say that. Maybe it's where I grew up. Like I grew up in Cambridge, Ontario, and um, just a lot of very kind, welcoming people there. And still to this day, like I don't find myself any different than anyone else. Like I'm just doing what I love, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Yeah, no, I feel like like I said, when I've seen you guys play, like I was like, oh, cool, another person like me. That's sick. I like that, you know. And it's not like me inherently having like a bias or anything. It's just like, wow, another Asian person that likes metal music. That's so sick, you know. That isn't like Mike Shinoda, even though like he's probably like could be my dad, you know. Like eh, not actually. I wish Mike Shinoda was my dad. No, no offense to my actual dad, but like, come on, Mike Shinoda.
It'd be pretty sweet, you
It'd be
know,
kind of
like
sweet, you know.
you'd have
So
so much access to so many things because like he is an engineer, he's like everything,
you'd
right?
be like, son, you want to record?
Um,
Okay, sick. I got you.
yeah,
You know.
you wanna record an EP for free? Yeah, I got you. Like
And have the goat like record it, mix it, master it, all that sort of stuff. Oh,
exactly. Get it
I'll
go
take
through the
that.
right channels, like for
Yeah.
sure. Like for
Listen,
sure.
I'll be adopted twice, Mike Shinoda. If you want to watch, come. If you watch my
Mike
video,
Shinoda, just landing. You know, we're up. You
we're
know,
up.
we
Well,
can
yeah,
be.
we're here.
We're
Slide
your
into those
kids. You know.
DMs. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
no, it's a good thing to hear that that's been a a impactful thing for you in terms of your family being supportive of like the stuff that you do, because I find that like it's kind of mixed. Like I have had people that said that it's like, yeah, it's very difficult. Like in fact, like you feel almost ostracized in some way because you're like, oh, you can't like that stuff. You gotta play classical music, you know, or you gotta like be a doctor or like a lawyer or like something that makes a lot of money, you know, any
Mhm.
trope you can think of, right? And so, I appreciate, shout outs to your parents for like doing that, because like for me, seeing your band when, and just seeing what you're doing, like to me, that I got to give you a lot of respect, because like I was like, oh, another Asian person. That's fucking sick. Like, and it's so cool because like, you don't really see that too much, and so like for me it's like obviously I want to be able to count more Asian people than I have fingers, on in the scene, so that's, to me,
Mhm.
like that's an ultimate goal, is to just get all of my like people that I know that are in the like alternative scene that are doing like music in this space. I'd love to have you on, because like that to me is like such a cool thing, and obviously not to discount any other cultures or any other things, but like, I got like the smallest bit of bias for Asian people, because it's dope to see it.
Don't get me wrong. Like when I run into another Asian on the road, like there's an instant connection, obviously, because we know what the culture can be like.
Yeah,
And
sure.
like for example, like I don't even know if you know, but like the bassist of the Contortionist is half Filipino.
What? I did not know that.
So
That's sick.
he comes up to me because we went on tour with it was Contortionist, Chan, then us.
Oh, sick. Yeah, Chan's great.
And yeah, so we like play first show and like first show jitters, like everyone's in their own zone just trying to like lock in.
Sure, yeah.
The next day Jordan comes up to me, he's like, hey man, like, are you Filipino? And I was like, yes. And he was like, same here. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, I'm half
Yeah,
Filipino. And then like instantly we start cracking Filipino jokes, like doing the accent. Like you have no idea like how awesome it was to like, and I loved, I still do, but the Contortionist just like,
Oh.
oh, one of my favorite bands of all time. And like he just comes up in and he's just like, yeah, I'm half Filipino. I'm like, what? That's crazy, man. So it's always nice. It's definitely nice. Because like you said, it doesn't happen very often. Um, but yeah, just like growing up, like I just did what I wanted to do, and I just felt that music was universal. So it just worked out for me, and
Yeah.
I guess I just had a really uh awesome community to grow up in, like for sure.
That's great. Well, obviously, I'm glad it was celebrated, because now we have auras, and if that didn't happen, then maybe we wouldn't have had auras. So kudos. Cambridge, out there. But
Yes, shout
I
out
lo
Cambridge.
I love that. The next question I have for you, Josh, is what are some of the influences that currently make themselves known on like current Aura sound? Is there any artists that you guys are pulling from that might make their sounds known in upcoming releases?
Uh, like artists that inspired me right now. Like, I
Yeah,
mean, I think as a band, like we always look up to the Peripheries and the Contortionists and the Tesseracts and all of those like legendary prog bands, like modern prog bands.
sure. Yeah,
Um, but for me as like a songwriter, like I'm always trying to find ways that I can bend the genre and like take certain elements from other genres that I personally enjoy. Cause like nothing makes me feel fulfilled is like writing a song and being like, that was inspired by a house song. You
yeah.
know, like so like I've mentioned like anima, like house music, although it's very simple in the drums and the percussives, like you can really hear like the groove
Oh
being
yeah.
played out in other elements of it, and that could be through vocals, that could be through like one of the elements being super percussive and polyrhythmic, or just like the synths are just like slightly a little bit just to shift it to the left just to give you that groove. um but house music is just huge, so anima for sure is up there. I love that guy. um There is this R&B artist called The Code that I really
Oh,
like,
okay.
and it's like he's like progressive. He's like progressive R&B. That's the
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like he sounds like modern R&B, like your trap, but he like does like metric modulation and like he throws things at you and it just makes you just go, you know?
The
So
tank
like
face, yeah.
yeah, so, like, when genres do stuff like that, where they're doing something that's out of their element, it inspires me to do the same. So, yeah, like, I wouldn't say there's a specific progressive metal band right now that's really inspiring me, right now. If anything, I would just say, like, Dayseeker and Bad Omens, like,
Oh, okay.
those 2, like, just the way that they're branding themselves and their arrangements and how they carry melody and really showcase their brand. I really respect that. So in terms of like a marketing aspect, I they inspire me. But sound wise, it's like all over the place. Like it's whatever I feel at the time.
Yeah, no, I think I actually like that more than anything else. Like, if I feel like if you were just like, yeah, Dayseekers, Bad Omens, which not to discount them at all, they're great, both great projects. But I like the fact that you didn't give me metal picks. Like, I think that's like that is a tried and true like. I don't listen to metal, but I am in a metal band kind of thing where I think that some of those influences wind up migrating into the music, and that's what I think I dug the most about it was even with Somnia was the way that vocally some of like the way that the melodies structured out or the way the melodies fit. It was like this seems a little odd, but like I like the fact that it's not what you think it's gonna be, and I think that has a lot to do with again your vocal background and your kind of pedigree in terms of like what you're listening to, and obviously it's clear that you're pulling from a lot more like pop and like R&B and kind of like that styling, where I feel like if you're a fan that doesn't know about the project or anything that you may not pick up on, but this is just a ploy for you guys to become more well versed in other genres, because then shit like this becomes a lot easier, I'd say, because like you're like, wow, this is cool. Like he's pulling from this direction. I wasn't expecting to hear that in like more of a prog metalcore song. So, just more food for thought, guys. Just go out there and do different things. Literally, I haven't listened to a metal album in a little bit. I've just been crushing the New Jeans EP. Oh, so good. I love that
My
EP.
cousins are all over that. Like
It's
they're just
so
telling me like,
good.
"Yo, you gotta listen to it," and
It's
I
so
did, and
good.
I was vibing hard. Um,
It grooves.
Again, it grooves. That's exactly it. Like if there's one thing that all of us members love is just groove. Like
It's groove. Yeah.
I love to dance. I love to move around, and nothing makes me do that like groove does in like any genre of music. So shout out to groovy music.
Yeah. Groove it has no genre. Just remember that. That's
Yes,
you can have groove in anything. So, but yeah, no,
exactly.
I feel like that was a good segue because it really does, it really does wind up making itself known in Aura stuff. So again, go check out Somnia. I'm gonna keep saying it throughout this entire interview is that you need to go listen to Somnia. So go show it some love. But the next question I have for you, Josh, is a fun one. If you guys could pick a song to cover, what would it be?
The Thong Song by Cisco. If you listen to that song
It
and
yeah.
envision it being metal, it would be the grooviest, dirtiest song ever. Bum, bum,
I'm
dum, bum, bum.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I
And
can
like
hear the riff.
even like the drums, it's like not just boom, it's like I gotta remember. It's like
It could be
boom,
really
boom,
syncopated. Yeah.
boom, it's like very syncopated and like very drums driven. And I've always wanted to do that song. Maybe it'll happen, whatever. But that's definitely one of the songs I would
Oh,
love to
okay,
cover
okay,
just for
okay.
fun.
I would love to hear it. I think I can envision it. I'm putting pen to paper in my head right now. I think I could hear you guys put a spin on it. So
That's the whole idea, is the spin. And like after this interview, go listen to it and then message me and be like, "Oh, I see what you
oh
mean."
no,
Like,
I as soon as you said like as soon as you went through it, like you're like, okay, the guitar is gonna be like ba ba da da da, and I was like, okay, now I can, the gears are turning in my head now. So
yeah, like I think there's like a part like
yeah, oh yeah, that's like a for sure like like that's like a sugar type riff. Like
exactly, you know.
100%. Yeah.
Oh, I gotta listen to that song after this
All
now,
right.
because like
Well,
you honestly just spark. You don't know what you've just done. That's all I have to
Josh is gonna be at the computer for like the next 5 hours now because of this. So, guys, look forward to the thong song cover. Don't worry, you, Josh is
Maybe we'll
on
call
it.
it the Thal song.
The thong, bro. I'd be about it.
I'm giving it away too much.
I'm giving my cosign on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, give my
Oh yeah.
cosign. Well, guys,
Oh yeah.
if you have a good suggestion for Orez, drop it down in the comments. It better be Thong Song. That's all I'm gonna say because I think that's a fantastic suggestion. And I said it, Josh said it, so But if you have a better one, drop it down in the comments. Would love to know your thoughts are.
Send it. Send it.
The next question I have for you, Josh, is another fun one. What is your favorite food to eat?
Oh, dude.
I'm sorry. I saw you eating noodles the other day, so I had to
Oh,
ask.
bro. It's like it depends on my mood, but to be just generic Filipino food, dude.
Oh,
Like there's nostalgia with it, there's comfort, there's culture, and like there's just so much good Filipino food that is slept on. So I will advocate for it. And I don't know if you've had it before,
I
but
have had Filipino food. It's a
what did you
life-changing
have?
experience. I don't remember. It's been a while, but I've definitely had like garlic fried rice. I've had some of like the heavy hitters of Filipino food,
Dude,
lumpia,
lumpia, yo,
yeah,
that's what
yeah.
I'm saying, man.
I've
Like
had those are
it
like
slaps.
bro, give me some lumpia. I'll take that shit all
My
day, every
mom's
day.
lumpia is fire. Like
Ooh, yeah.
I'm
That's
pretty
how
sure
you know
that's
it's
like
good.
the I'm pretty sure that's the only reason why like my fiance is with me, because like she had my mom's lumpia and she's like, "What is this? What?" And it's like it's
I feel
done.
like it's the scene in like Doctor Strange where like the lady like smacks the shit out of like Benedict Cumberbatch. That's like
Yep.
you when you eat a lumpia for the first time, and you're just like,
You're just
what?
like, "What is this?" You know, there's The one thing that I've been really into right now is it's called kare kare, and it's like it's oxtail
Ooh.
that's in like a peanut sauce, and it's got like vegetables. It's like a
Oh,
stew. It's like a beef
yeah.
stew, but with oxtail, but like it like falls off the bone.
Oh,
So that's one thing. And then right now, like I've been just making this food. It's called sinigang. It's like a
yeah, yeah. Sinigang.
it's
I'm familiar.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's like rice, right? But you put like the soup on it and it's just like it's the perfect winter food, but it's also a great food if you're like doing vocals. Like after you do
Ooh.
vocals, like having
Okay.
like a nice like hot
Soothing.
soup to soothe it, it's game changer. So
Yeah.
sinigang is out there and I make that pretty much every week.
All right. Well, I'm coming to Canada next week, so
Hell yeah. Let's do it. Let's get it.
I have
Let's
to
get
update
I'll
my
make you
passport.
sinigang, man. I got you. I got you.
Oh man, I love that. Yeah. I feel like I just make a lot of Asian food in my free time. I also cook, so I feel like for me,
Mm.
like that's a rite of passage, you know. I feel like if you can make some good ass Asian food, man, that's like you're set, you know. So I love that
Asian
stuff.
food's the best, man.
Yeah,
Like
on top.
it can go so many different ways. Like, you know, you can go spicy, you can go sweet and savory, you can go with just straight like kind of vinegary, like adobo.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
there's
Ooh.
just so many different ways and I just love that's why like it's I think Filipino's very versatile and I don't think it gets a lot of credit for that, to be honest.
I would agree. You know, chicken adobo is another fantastic one. Ooh, speaking the language of love here, you know. So
Bro, bro.
if you haven't had Filipino food, you need to go get some Filipino
You
food. That
get
shit
it.
is
Just get it.
fire. It's fire.
Yeah. I see more of them popping up here and there.
Getting their
So
respect.
yeah, like have you ever been to a Jollibee or know what that is?
I know what a Jollibee is. Unfortunately, there's not a close enough Jollibees to where I live. I would love to go to Jollibees. If you want to like sponsor both Josh and I, like I'll put that
Yo,
shit on my back. You know,
listen,
I'll
I
take one for
love
the team.
Jollibee. Anyone who wants to get introduced to it, like try Jollibee
Oh
because
yeah,
it has those elements, but it's just like packaged nicely and for you to enjoy. But beyond that, there's like a lot more
it's a rite of
to be
passage. Yeah,
explored.
you have to have Jollibees first, and then you can get blown back by some like Filipino food, like real
Yeah,
ass
home
Filipino
cooked.
food, home
Yeah,
cooked
like
meal.
home
Yeah.
cooked, like
Woo!
by like someone's tita, you know, like she just like made that kare kare just ready to
Just be
go, you know,
chilling,
like
yeah. That's the
yeah,
best spots are like the hole in the walls, like the mom and pop
exactly.
shots, like the ones that you like look at. You're like, yo, do they really have the bomb ass food there? And then you go in
Always,
there, always
always,
crushing
yo,
it.
like
Yeah.
always. If you go into an Asian spot and you're like, this place is a little too clean. I don't know,
Yeah,
like
it's just got to be like on the cusp of like dirty, you know. It's just got to be
yeah,
like,
like you have like a children's toy just on the floor for
yeah,
some
yeah,
reason. You're like,
yeah.
oh, this is the
And
spot.
you see a
This is
kid
what you
like
want.
running around, you know, and
Dude, that's it.
the
Yes.
parents like being like, "Yo, what the fuck are you
Yeah,
doing? Like, get
exactly,
back here!"
dude.
You know. And
Exactly.
there's like,
That's
"Oh,
when you
sorry, I'm
know.
sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry." That's my kid's going crazy, you know. Like
Every
that's
time
how you
I've
know.
gone to a place, it's always like that. Like there's always a kid running around. Like one time we went to this like awesome Chinese restaurant in downtown Guelph where I'm from, and this kid just like walks up, clearly just like the kid of like some staff, and he was like, "Hi, I'm Derp." I'm like, your name's Derp? He's like, I'm Derp. And he just like dabbed. He literally just did a dab and then like ran away to play with his toys in
Oh
like the
my god.
corner. And then I was like, what just happened? And then the food came and then we're like, oh my God, this is the best Chinese food I've ever had.
You're
Like,
like, "Who's that kid? I don't even know anymore." You like
yeah.
lose memory.
Dude,
That shit.
I did not make that up. That's a true story. You asked my fiance, like we literally experienced that. Like it was great.
That's it. That's it right again. If you know, you know. That's all I'm gonna say. Just get some. If you haven't eaten Asian food, I highly implore you to get on that shit. Like
Get it.
Filipino food, like Indonesian food,
Mm-hmm.
Korean food, Japanese food. You know all that shit. Chef's kiss.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Exactly. Yeah,
gotta show
man.
it the love.
I
I
love that
did.
question.
Thank you, Josh. I did have a question for you. I did see that. So funny story, or I guess a little tangent. I used to grow up watching some before, kids, before TikTok exists, there was this thing called Vine.
Oh god,
Just
here
want
we
to
go.
let you know. But I had seen that you are friends with Ray Ligahia, or however you pronounce his last name. I think I definitely butchered it, but he got me like he was like into metal, like, and I was like, yo, another Asian dude into metal, like super rad, and that's how I kind of like also like indoctrinated myself into metal music, was watching some of his like vines and old clips and stuff.
Stop.
So I gotta give him a shout because he was the one who like really like I was like, an Asian dude can like metal? That's wild. I need to follow this dude. So Ray, if you watch this, big ups. I gotta give you the salutes.
So he's my cousin.
No, he's not. What?
He's my cousin, and he is in Boundless and Stars Abound. He sings those the choruses. Yeah,
Yo,
yeah.
you're
He was
you.
on the road with us. He was on the road with us. He performed with us. Like he is like my best friend. Like we call ourselves brothers, but we're not actually
Yeah, I
brothers.
know. That's oh my what?
Like, cause we're cousins. But like, yeah,
Oh my
he's
god.
literally, if anything, like he's like I don't have a brother, but he's basically my brother.
Oh my
So yeah, I just
god.
shattered your world.
My
Yeah.
brain. I am shattered right now. Oh my god. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh. Holy shit.
Oh man, yeah. Like
This is a
I
full
was seeing
circle
him,
moment. Holy fuck.
bro.
Wow.
He yeah, like he just became big on Vine, and I was seeing it happen live. And like he was doing his Vine thing, and I was doing the band thing. So
Yeah.
while he was growing, getting big on Vine, I was writing Crestfallen in the other room because we lived together. So
Oh,
so
what the?
here's yeah. So the band lived together, and Ray lived with us. That was like
Uh,
that was the crew, like, and that's why he ended up on the records because he was just like he was just there. He has been supporting us since day one. He produced our Spiral video. Like he is more involved in auras than anyone will ever understand. Yeah, yeah. So he is in Stars Abound, and he is on in Boundless. So
my head hurts now.
oh, that's the best. Actually, I
Oh
love
my
that.
god.
Yep,
That's
yep.
awesome. Shouts to Ray. Oh my god. Ray, I feel like if if you make a video to me, I'm just gonna I'll probably piss my pants. Honestly, not even joking.
Yeah,
That's
like
no
we're
zero cap.
very we're locked in all the time. Like,
Oh
we're
my god,
locked in, man. Like I'm gonna
my
see him
brain's
on
locked up right now.
Saturday. Yeah, I'm gonna see him on Saturday. Our boys or like our cousin's birthday, so we're gonna have Filipino food and then go do karaoke. Like
Oh
that's literally
my
gonna happen this weekend.
wow. This is the first time I've been like I mean I've been shocked before, but this like my whole world is completely obliterated right now. Oh
I love it.
my
I love it. I know it's a lot of people don't make that connection.
I didn't
Actually,
like, and I was like, wait a second. I was like, that last name looks familiar,
yeah,
and I was like,
Lagaya. He's Ray
Lagaya.
Lagaya. I'm Josh Lagaya. Like we are fam, bro. Like we are literally fam.
I was like, wow. I was like, he knows Ray. That's crazy. And then I just didn't. It didn't put. I did like it. Like my brain didn't click on it, and I was like, Ray Lagaya. Like I'm like, that name sounds familiar. Like I know this from somewhere. And then I had
Yep.
to
Shout
dig
out to you,
deep.
bro.
I had to dig deep, and then the like everything. It was like a Jimmy Neutron brain blast. Everything came together. I was like, what the fuck? Like this is awesome. So shouts to Ray.
Y-
I'm gonna keep giving it shout outs because my
Yo,
brain is
big shout
on
out to
loop.
Ray, because like these shows that we played just now, it was the first time where we are singing hand in hand with two different mics together. We've been dreaming of this for a very long time because like I respect him as a singer and he respects me as like a vocalist. And I remember we were performing in Guelph and like we just like hugged each other and did Stars Abound together, and we're just like, this is history, man. Like We've been waiting for this all our lives
Oh my
to perform
god.
side by side like this, and um, yeah, like we've always been in each other's pockets for music. Like I don't know if you know his one song "Light." He had
I
like one
do,
song
yeah.
called
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
yeah.
great.
I tracked drums for that, and we literally wrote that the day before we went into the studio. Like, so he was living up in Windsor, and I was living in Cambridge at the time. And he's like, "Yo, I want to go to the studio. I want to write this song." I was like, "Okay, well, we got to write it." So I drove up and landed, and I got the guitar, and we literally just wrote the song. And he's like, "This is how I envisioned it," and like, no drums, just acoustic. And then we got to the studio in Detroit, and then I was like, "I guess I'll go on drums." we just we tracked it, yeah. So that's I I almost forgot about that, but yeah,
I'm
we've
waiting
always been
for
in each other's corner.
I'm waiting for Ashton Kutcher to come out of my
No,
door from my room and be like, "You got punked, bro. Ha, joke's on you."
nope, nope. We
Oh.
are as close as family as it gets.
This is gonna be a fun one to edit because I feel like I am completely flustered right now. Which
I
normally
love
I'm
it.
pretty good, but this you have broken me. You have
Like I
broken me
said, I
down.
love your reactions, man, and I just got a
You got
natural
in
reaction
in
live
the
in the
moment.
interview. That's amazing, dude. I can't wait to tell him too. I honestly can't wait to tell him.
Shout out to Ray. I said it like five
Love you,
different times,
bro.
but big salutes to Ray, my man. The next question I have for you, Josh, if I can even make my way through the rest of this interview, is a personal favorite of mine. As I mentioned, I'm a nerd about music and I'm a nerd about most things, but I have to ask, if you could be a video game character, who would you be?
Hmm. Video game character? Like a
Yes.
specific one? Like a known one?
It doesn't have to be known. It's just whatever you're picking.
I
You know.
love okay, so I'm a huge PUBG fan.
Ooh, okay,
Huge
okay,
PUBG fan.
okay,
Like
yeah.
over the over the pandemic, I like started a Twitch stream where I was just like getting in with the community with the PUBG console community through
Okay,
Xbox.
okay. Respect.
And if I were to be a character, I would love to do like a real life like PUBG where like I get dropped out from this like plane and I land and I gotta pick up weapons and shoot people. Like that sounds fun. So I'm gonna say PUBG right now.
Ooh, oh, that's a great pick. You know, shouts to PUBG and the fan base.
Sh-
They're
For real. For
for
real.
real. What a great game. I love that. Good choice. Wow, I haven't heard that one in a little bit, so that's a good one. That's a good one.
It's
I like it.
it's changed a lot over the years, but I still love that game to death. I just kind of stopped because obviously we're trying to get this this music out, so I kind of pumped the brakes on video games and all that, which was like my pandemic like hobby was just streaming and playing video games with homies and um yeah.
I'm down to hop on again at some point. You know, the game that I'm currently slogging through right now is Tears of the Kingdom. So
Tears of the Kingdom, what
the
is that?
Zelda, the new Zelda game for the Switch.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
it
What do you
is
play that
sick.
on?
The Switch, Nintendo
The
Switch.
Switch.
Yeah,
Tight, man.
it
Yeah,
is sick.
love that.
I know everybody says it's like, oh, this is a good console because it's not powerful enough. I'm like, bro, you tell me that game isn't fun as shit, you know, and that you've been playing it for like the past like 7 hours of your day. I'm just
Oh,
saying.
I okay. So there's also another game that I really like, and it just clued into me
There
because,
you go. Okay,
like
okay.
you said, like so, I still think that Super Smash Brothers 64 is still the best game in the world, and I challenge anyone to. We've been doing this on the road a lot. Like, if you beat me as Yoshi, I'm Yoshi. So if you beat me in a 1v1 in Nintendo 64, you get a free shirt. Like I'll give you free merch. And it still hasn't happened yet. And I take back screw PUBG. I am Yoshi from Super Smash 64 specifically. Like
Wow.
that.
Okay. OG.
That's it.
OG.
Yes.
Okay. I gotta
Yeah.
give you respect. My first Smash game was Melee, so
Ooh.
Melee is a classic one. I used to play a lot of Smash Ultimate, which is on the Switch, and
Mhm.
I've kind of fell off of that. But you know, every once in a while, somebody asks me if I play Smash. I'm like, I'm okay, and then they're like, "Holy shit, this guy's pretty good." you know.
He's
So
cracked.
I am not cracked. I wish I was, but I don't. I get to do this for fun. So this, I feel like this is more appropriate thing to spend my time on than just to learn like L canceling and all that sort of stuff. You know, I don't have.
For real, like it goes so deep, and like a lot of my cousins are really into like they were really into Melee, and then just got into all of them, Brawl, and
Brawl's
this
great too.
newest one. They're really into it, and I enjoy it. I have it on Switch and I play it. I just there's something about the 64, like the the shitty controller,
I was
like
gonna say the
I just
64.
it's so like raw, and I just there's so much emotion in it, like there's one controller that the band has, and it has like literally dog bites on it, and it's the best controller.
Oh,
They're
that
like
yeah.
dibs on dog bite, like
It,
literally on the road, like dibs on dog bite. Like that was my controller, is the
it's a
dog bite.
hardened
So,
controller. You know, it's
dude,
been it's tried and true. It's tested. You know,
it's
that's how you know.
tested.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I got you.
yeah, for sure.
That's like, oh, actually, funnily, this is my GameCube controller. Like, this is the OG. I got
Ooh,
it like with my, you know, I still have the first. This is the first GameCube controller. So I am never gonna give this away. No one's ever gonna take this from me. And if you come into my house and steal this from me, I'm gonna make sure you don't exist after. That is a very thinly veiled threat, but you know, just
that's
saying.
don't touch the Asian guy's controller.
Yeah,
Don't do it.
don't do it. Don't do it, guys. But I feel like otherwise, I'm generally pretty cordial. So just don't steal my stuff. That'd be cool. Um, the next
Love that.
question I have for you, Josh, is if you were to compile a dream tour lineup, including auras, of course, who would be on this tour?
Contortionist for sure.
Oh,
Like Contortionist
go.
will be on there because I love those each and every individual in that band. Like Robbie Baca, love you, bro. Like we we just hit it off, you know. Like and just they're all sweethearts, and they have the same mentality when it comes to like writing, but
Yeah.
they're just on a different like spectrum of it. Like I think we're a little bit more heavier, but like we approach it the same way, and I just love that. So contortionist for sure.
Oof. Great start.
Man, why are you doing this to me? Oh, yeah. Dirty Loops.
Oh, yes.
Dirty Loops would be like
Yes.
headlining, and then contortionist,
Oh,
then us, and I honestly like, oh, and one more. Jakob Zaytecki,
oh,
uh
yeah.
or Disperse, which that's his band. So yeah, like yes, like that's it. The all those four, like
That'd be
let's get
clean.
it.
Yeah.
Let's get it. That'd be disgusting.
Oh man, if I could watch Dirty Loops every night, I would do that in a heartbeat. Talk about a
Best.
band. If you need to check out a really great band, go check out Auras. But then after that, go check out Dirty Loops because they're, whew, you want to talk about
They're
pop music?
on
Oh, unreal.
they're they're on a different level, you know? Like no words can describe what they do to people, and what they do to top tier musicians. Like when a top tier musician listens to them, it moves them, and that should tell you something about what
Yeah.
they are able to accomplish with their music as a, you know, how many people are in the band? It's like a three piece,
There's
isn't
a
it?
three-piece band. Yeah, it's literally a
Dis-
piano player with that does their vocals. They have one drummer and they just have a bass player and that's it.
Disgusting. Yeah.
It's honestly honestly appalling how much
Yeah.
music talent is in that band.
And you know what? I'll throw in one more
Okay,
just
okay.
because
I'm giving it
sleep
to you.
sleep token. Sleep token can be there too. Like I I've been on the sleep token train before
Same.
everyone.
Before
Like
the pop
I'm
off,
talking
yeah.
about I'm saying Jaws, like
Yeah.
old, you know, like I was really into it, and I kept showing people, it's like, yo, you gotta check out
This
this
is the band.
band.
This is the band,
This is
yeah.
like they're gonna do it. They're gonna actually do it. And they're like, oh, I don't know about the mask. I was like, I think that's like the thing. Like that's gonna
Yeah,
make them
yeah.
sick. And then
Have you
this
heard
new
of
record came
Slipknot
out.
before? You know, like
Yeah, exactly. Right. And um, this new record came out, and then everyone's like, "Yo!" And they're coming back to me like, "Yo, have you seen Steve?" I was like, "Bro, I was trying to show this
Bro,
to
yeah,
you so
whoa.
long ago." But I understand the newer stuff is a lot more digestible. It sounds incredible, and it translates very well on all platforms, all listeners. Like
I
no
would
matter
agree,
what
yeah.
genre you're listening to at the time, Sleep Token can slide in that playlist fine. You know,
Yeah, especially
so
that middle song that literally sounds like a Creed track, you know, like as an homage to like,
dude,
"Are you really okay?" Like, I was just like, "Bro, why you hit me with the vibes at the middle of the album? I still got like 6 more songs to listen to."
there's the lyrics,
Oh,
the arrangement, the vocal nuances and cadences that Vessel does. I mean, me being a vocalist and me trying to navigate what that's like, seeing what he does, I'm like, you are just you are just playing with us. Like you're just pulling our heartstrings
little
just
tease.
by just, you know. But I know that Sleep Token's not for everybody, but I cannot
It's
not say Sleep Token on my
that's
dream
pretty
tour,
damn close. I would
you know?
argue. They you know, that's what I was saying earlier about like bands touching different genres, you know. I feel like they definitely have moments where they're like, "Oh, we're going to do a little bit of this. We're going to throw a little rap in there. We're going to throw a little bit of like pop in there. We're going to throw some jazz in there. We're going to throw in that stupid heavy shit you guys love." You know, like
Yeah.
you know, like, to me, like, obviously, I loved Take Me Back to Eden. I'm always gonna be a Sundowning fan, though. I still feel like that
Ooh.
one's numero uno, you know, like, that one was the album that sold me on the band very early on, and I was just like, "Bruh, where is this band come from? Where are they
Mhm.
from? Who are they?" You know, like, who gave you this magnificent voice? I'm mad. You know, did I get lower on the lottery tier? What happened? You know, any sort of other adjectives I could use to describe Vessel, because I'm just mad that my voice doesn't sound like that instinctually. You know, also on the fact that he's, you know, from the UK, and I imagine he has an accent. You know, like, he's caught above the rest, you know, and that makes me mad because, like, if I had a UK accent, ooh, I'd be
Top
god
tier.
tier, god tier.
Top tier. For sure,
But
dude. For
guys,
sure.
listen, I would love to see this tour happen. So, like, if you could totally make that happen, like, you know, that would be really sick. You know, I imagine people know other people, so like, this could be a reality that could be checked out. You know, if you wanna help out with that, that'd be really sick. But Josh, I'm gonna keep hitting you with bombs here. So this is another big question. If you could have a dream collaboration on an up and coming Aura song, who would you love to have a guest feature from? I'll give you two picks. One that you feel is more realistic, that definitely could happen if you know, if you wink wink nudge nudge some people, you know, somebody. And the other one's just like out of pocket. Like, if this, like, you're gonna manifest it. Like, we're putting it out there to the universe, you know?
Okay. The one that's possible and within reach that I would love would be getting uh Jakub Zajtecki like a guest solo. Like I love that guy. Like everything he does. Like, if you don't know who this guy is, just look him up. I think he's the most slept on guitar player
I
in
would
the
agree.
world.
Oh yeah.
I think he's the most slept on, and I got to see him and meet him when they came through with Sungazer and Pliny in Toronto,
Oh, what a
and
lineup.
I was just mind blown by the talent that was in that room. But Jakob, my dude, like the fact that you're so humble, man, just makes it even crazier. Like if I played like you, I'd be like, I'm the fucking
Oh,
man.
I'm
But
a
like
god.
he's just like, yeah, I like guitar. It's like, okay, dude, like he's the greatest. And I'm really hoping that can happen. And I will I won't stop dreaming on that.
Don't worry,
Um
it'll happen.
so the other one you said was like something out of pocket, something crazy.
Manifest it, baby. Let's do it. Let's do it, Josh. Come on. I'm
Um
putting a positive force out there. You know.
the weekend.
Oh,
Like Weekend has
oh,
some dark shit.
he does. Yeah.
So like imagine the weekend on Somnia. You know what I mean? Like just that vibe
Bruh.
with those synths, man, I
Bruh.
think could be pretty sick. So, and he's Canadian,
Yeah, I was gonna
so
say, also Canadian.
but
Represent.
he's a huge inspiration. I love the weekend. I love everything he puts out, except for that show Idol. Unfortunately, I was not a fan,
Yeah, that was not
but
good.
that's okay. It's fine. It's fine. Like the music, the soundtrack from that is actually absolute fire. Like I listen to that on the daily because I love Mike Dean and his production, but show wasn't just it wasn't for me, you know. And
Show's not good.
whatever. Like
Not good show.
I I respect the courage, and that's it. You know, I still love you,
I
Abel.
can't
I
stand
still
by
love you.
I can't stand by the show, but the weekend as an artist, 100%. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's awesome.
yeah,
Especially like the
love it.
old shit, the first couple albums. Ooh,
High for
bruh.
this man,
High
dude.
for
Like
this.
that
Oh,
the knowing is
yes.
like,
Oh,
oh man,
House of
like
Balloons, man. Oh,
House of Balloons was I still think is the greatest R&B dark R&B album ever. Like it really inspired me to really push for emotion in my music and just by like the chord progressions that he uses and like I mean to be honest like his clean singing is just always going to be
consistent.
yeah and it's like
It
I
hits the
love everything
chest.
he does.
I got you.
Everything he does. Yeah.
Well, guys, listen, this is what I need you to do. You need to take your phone out. I need you to tag Auras, and I also need you to tag Jakob because he's the
Oh.
goat. And I also need you to tag the weekend, and then you type in collab question mark. And again, like I'm just some dude on the internet that makes content, but and I also didn't go to law school, so like this, totally flies out the window. But I have been on the internet for 7.5 years, actually probably longer than that at this point. But face to face, 7.5 years. So I feel like I do have a right to say that if it's on the internet, there's a good possibility it could be real. So like we believe in having dreams be a reality here, at Audio Addiction HQ. So, I'm just saying, I'm gonna tag it for Josh. He's my brother from another mother. I have to do it. The
Oh
Asian,
man.
the Asian respect, to another Asian. I have to do it. It's our legally binding contract as being brothers. So I gotta do it. I have no
Yeah,
choice.
man. That honestly, even like just what you were saying, like all three of like Aura's, Jakob, and Weekend in one song, like would just be like
Yeah, why don't we do it?
great.
We're going for it. We're going for the
It'd be
gusto,
insane. It'd be insane.
So yeah, you guys, I believe
I
in
love that
you too.
question.
I believe in
Love
you.
that
You
one.
guys can do it. I have full faith that you will type that and you will send it. Full send. Please be sick.
Oh my
Next
god.
question for you, Josh. What is your favorite TV show, favorite movie?
Favorite TV show is Simpsons. The Simpsons,
Nice.
like
Okay.
unmatched, dude. Like seasons 3 to about I'll go as far as like 9.
Ooh, okay, that's long.
I can watch that on repeat. Like it just never there's nostalgia to it. I'm picking up on jokes that just went past my head like when I was younger, and it's a comfort show for me. Like if I'm ever feeling down or like I tend to watch it when I'm like if I'm sick with the flu or like have a
Sure, sure,
bad
sure.
cold, like I just need a comfort show, and Simpsons is that. Favorite movie, I don't have a favorite movie because that all comes in different like moods, but anything by Christopher Nolan.
Ooh, okay,
So
okay.
I'm gonna see Oppenheim whenever I get a second. But I loved the Batman
I was
trilogy
gonna
with
say,
Christian
yeah.
Bale, Inception, Interstellar, Tenet, like the Prestige, all that stuff I love. So if Christopher Nolan's on it, I'm all for it.
I love that. I have to see Tenet still. I wanted to see that. But I've seen
Whew.
Inception. I've seen Inception though, and I knew that's a mind fuck. So I can only imagine
Tenet,
Tenet.
Tenet, Tenet is like it's crazy, man. Like you gotta be ready. You gotta be ready for it.
My
Like
brain's
it's
got. I'm gonna have to just start doing like brain puzzles and stuff, and before I watch the movie.
I watched it twice, and I don't think I could watch it again because it's like exhausting. Personally, for me, like, but in a good way, in like a really good way. Um,
Am I gonna have a good sleep after? You know, I'm just gonna be so exhausted from like just trying to figure out the Christopher Nolan process that I'm just gonna be like,
I just respect it because like he has a branding to his movies that
sure,
are
yeah.
consistent. He uses the same actors, which just like it just adds to his branding. And I don't see anyone else doing that kind of thing. Maybe Michael Bay, but like I think Christopher Nolan's just like he. I just like everything he does. The soundtracks he has with his movies
Oh
are
yeah.
always emotionally driven and um, very inspiring, honestly, for creating
Oh
such
yeah.
great
Especially
entertainment.
the Batman movies with Hans Zimmer.
Oh,
The
dude,
GOAT. The GOAT.
s- the goat, man, like
Yeah.
so good,
Oh,
so good.
so good. I love a good composition. Shouts to Hans. You
Yeah.
know, if you want to come on with with love that.
Yo, imagine, yeah, that'd be
Yo, that'd
tight.
pop off. I'd be about it. Hans, I don't know what you're doing with your time, but that'd be kind of tight. Next question for you, Jost. If you were trapped on a desert island for the next month and there was one album you could bring with you to listen to, what album would it be? You're not dying, by the way. I just want to just clarify that. You know, people have asked me if like it's like I'm in
Hmm,
peril, and I said, no, you're just vibing, you're just chilling. You know.
dude. Um, it should be easy, but it's not.
It's like a month though. That's why I feel like people like maybe overcalculate it because they're like, "Oh my god, all time." I'm like, "No, no, no, not all time, bro. I'm not. I'm not.
Does the weekend the trilogy count?
I'll
Because like
give
the
you it.
trilogy,
I'll give you the pass.
yeah.
I'll give you the pass."
You know, I'll go with that. Um, yeah, I think so.
Okay,
I think
okay.
so. I feel like it'd be entertaining to like really dive into the weekend's mind because like I listened to it, but I haven't like listened to it. So if I had like a month to like really dedicate to immersing myself into
The
his like
act of
artistry,
listening. Yeah,
that's it.
I
That
got you.
that would keep me occupied, you know?
I'm sure it would. Yeah, you might
Yeah.
not come out the same man. You know, so that's.
Just jaded and just upset
I
with
hope
everyone.
not. You know, gonna hope for positive vibes after that because I've listened to those EPs and man, that shit's fucked up. I'll tell you what. He definitely talks about some messed
Oh
up
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
I'm just gonna
Exactly.
leave it at that because YouTube would not be thrilled if I talked about some of the other stuff. So
Oh yeah.
gonna
That's
leave it
fair.
there. The last thing, Josh, the most important thing, I have, as you know, been loving interviewing bands. I got to give you a big shout for coming on as well. Much love. But I wanted to know, you know, obviously taking a little bit of a hiatus from doing, you know, music for a little bit and coming back with auras with, you know, a fresh perspective, new vibes, new sounds, stuff like that. Want to know why music is important to you. You know, you've been doing it for 15 years. You know, that's a long ass time. You know, like, and that's awesome. You know, I don't want to discredit that at all, but you know, I often find that you know, even if I take breaks from it, it's like, do I really still want to do it? And I come back to it every time after I'm a break, and I'm like, man, I really miss this. This is cool. Like this is something that I don't want ever to have leave my life. So why is music important to you? Why do you create it? And I feel like for me, as if I wasn't already attached to auras already, I feel like it's gonna make me that much more attached, I'd argue.
It's the journey of songwriting. Like I am not classically trained. Like I taught myself how to play guitar. I taught myself how to scream for the initial steps of it and taught myself how to sing for the most part. Um I just get this like fire feeling like when I'm at my computer and I'm just like, I don't know what I'm gonna write today. I don't know what is it. I don't know if I'm gonna use it, but I'm going to just put everything aside, like emails aside, phone aside, like all my thoughts, like just they go away, and I completely just immerse myself into the process.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't describe the feeling that I get when I'm just going through the motions. Um, there's no other feeling like it, and um, it's almost like dreamlike for me. Like I almost sometimes black out when I do it,
You're
and
locked in.
I'm locked in, and nothing's better than like finishing your project, right? Whatever it is, turning off the computer, stepping away, and then coming back. with fresh ears and just been like, "Oh my god!" Like I just spent all that time on that, and like that is amazing. Like that, I'm like, this is moving me as like
Yeah.
someone to hear it, and then I just repeat the same thing. Like I'll just like, okay, I'm gonna re-immerse myself into the song, and then it just keeps happening and happening. But the beauty of songwriting too is that like if you're not feeling something, don't force it. Like there's been many times where I'm like writing something, I'm like, not really feeling it. Scrap. Like, well, not scrap. I save it, throw it to the side, and then I'm like, all right, let's change the BPM, change the key. All right, let's just dance around, do 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 do, and I just try something else completely different. And it's I just love writing. That's it. Songwriting is my favorite thing I love to do, and it does give me lots of uh, pleasure to hear people react to my music. So I love it.
Yeah, no, I think it's cool that like it offers you that safe space to like get out your thoughts and emotions. Like I think that's kind of the coolest thing about, I would argue, this genre comparatively to other genres, is that I feel like a lot of the artists in this scene are very emotive in the way that they either like talk about like things that are difficult in their life, or songwriting that you're just like, you see somebody do a video and you're like, the dude's like being like blown back by like and you're like, you feel that, and so it's such a cool thing for me that um at least experiencing kind of auras as a collective over the shit, I don't even know, like 6 years or more that I've seen you guys play, and like to ultimately come to the point where I like have you on the show now. It's kind of a full circle moment for me, as well as knowing about Ray, which was another big full circle moment that
Yes,
I feel like my
dude.
brain broke for about midway through this interview, but I'm here, I'm back. But I love that. I love that. You really think about the songwriting. You're very intentional about the stuff that you craft, because I think there's a lot of intentionality, and I don't even think I mentioned it in like the review, but like there's so much intentionality to some of this stuff, and I always tell people like, this is my first listen. I'm probably gonna listen to this shit like way more times than just one time, and think by the next song, once that comes out, like I'm gonna have so much more things that I can say about the next song, because I'm like, oh well, I've already listened to Somnia. Now I have more things that I can say because I talked to Josh, and I also listened to the song like 1,000 more times because that's what I do. But yeah, it's very exciting, and I'm just kind of excited that Auras is taking off again, and not that I feel like they ever left, but it's just like, hey, welcome back, bro. Appreciate you. Like it's one of those cool moments. So I appreciate Josh for, stepping in and coming to hang out and all that sort of stuff. But I'll leave it off with just Josh. I'm leaving the floor to you. Tell the people where they can find Auras at, what you have coming up in the next couple months, and anything else you would like to share with the fam.
Yeah. So you could follow me on Instagram at groove.mp4a. If you just want to follow the journey of me being the frontman uh, of this progressive metal band, and we also have Orange Groove is our Instagram, so you can follow all of our updates of what is up next. Right now, we do have a show coming up in August 22nd with
Ooh,
Born of Osiris,
ooh,
Traders,
ooh,
Upon a Burning Body, and
ooh,
then our boys in Soul Pays who are from Kitchener. So shout
ooh.
out to Soul Pays.
Hey, shout outs.
Like I don't know if you listen to them, bro, but
No,
like,
I'm gonna check
yo,
them out now.
you gotta check them out because the guitarist in that band, who also engineers and produces that band, helped produce Auras. So big shout out to those dudes. And yeah, like I'm just really excited to show everybody what's coming next, and I appreciate everyone's patience.
Yeah, it's quite the journey, and if you haven't gone back and listened to older Aura stuff, I'd highly recommend it. Obviously, I can speak very highly about Binary Gardens. I'm gonna die on that hill, so if you don't give that album some love, I'm gonna be very upset and disappointed. And you don't want that, because that's not a vibe that we like to have here. So please go give Binary Gardens some love, as well as that. Go check out Somnia. It's a fucking fantastic track. And if you don't have it in your wheelhouse or in your repertoire and you listen to progressive metalcore music, why you sleeping? Why you taking them Z's, bro? Come on, wake up. It's time to wake up. I'm like Navi, of the metalcore community. I'm like, hey, listen to this band, so do it. You should do it. They're definitely sick. I will leave all of the links down below, and also my reaction video. If you want to do that, that'd be great. But like realistically, just at least go listen to Somnia, even if you don't want to hear my dumbass talk about it. Just go listen to the actual song. It's great. It slaps. 10 out of 10. So please go give it some love. If you enjoyed this interview, share, like, and subscribe. I am well on my way to hit 5K. That is my goal for this year.
Ooh,
So,
let's go.
I'm just saying, if you could rise up and hit that subscribe button, that would be amazing. And, your boy's a softie, so I'll cry if I hit 5,000 subs before the year's over with. So don't test me. I'll do it. But yeah, I'm very excited for this year. And, if you like K-pop, I've been doing a lot of K-pop stuff. So Asian community, baby, we're rocking it this year. It's the year of the Asian community. And again, just a pleasure talking with Josh and getting to hang out.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, man.